work together, and we need to have the love of God in our hearts to do these missions, these passions, these ventures in Baltimore City. We got to have that main connection. So I'm so grateful for Sister Najee that is here today. And I tell you guys, her first time coming to me probably was almost 3 years now. And she walked in my office, her and her family, and just able to be like, look, you do assisted living, we can do this. And it was just about creating a partnership. And even sometimes things don't like take off or escalate the way you want them to. It did me a real good this morning to talk to you and just to know your comforting words was really powerful to me today. So I was like, oh, you got to come and be with me today because I know I feel weak in the spirit. And some of our conversation was just so powerful that we got to let that powerful connect really move forward. So I'm grateful for that. You know, again, the partnership of the people, the issues in the community from Baltimore City, all issues. And I say this, sister, as a community leader that deals with all issues because, yes, our passion can be one thing, but God give us the ability to deal with so many other issues. So we can't really be limited when we're a seed planted by God on the direction we go. Because my passion may be homelessness, but I also have a great concern for so many other issues in our city when it comes to our youth, when it comes to our children, when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to the lack of, these things really, and I'm grateful right now, especially in this time of my life, because my dad has always been my backbone to this. Like when I say backbone, he went from don't you touch my change and give it to them people. No, you ain't sending my money to them people to, hey baby, I need to help you because I need to be there for you and how can we house these people? So when I say that he has been a backbone not only to housing, he has been a backbone of support. He has made me so knowledgeable of the system. As much as he say, leave them people alone. You ain't for them people. He used to always give me that type of advice. But he also prepared me from when I know I'm amongst the chosen few. And you remind me of that, sister, because you got to get around people that really can relate and they can understand that, sometimes these seeds that's planted in us, we gonna go through a journey. And in this journey, I say you got to make people uncomfortable sometimes. And I know in my journey through this city, I have made people uncomfortable. And sometimes I have made them uncomfortable and probably felt kind of sorry, like, why are they so uncomfortable? Or you get a label, or you're aggressive, or you some kind of leader, you too vocal, you too bold. Somewhere you gotta be something different, especially when you're on assignment. You can't be on assignment and make everybody comfortable and happy. So I thank you for being here. I can't wait for you to share some because connecting to me is always being challenged as well. Because sometimes you got to get around those individuals that can, give you that push, give you that word to be like, wow, it is some good people. Like you got to see Christ demonstrated in people. And if we go around this city and never see him demonstrated, never see his love poured out, and never run into good sisters like you, we gonna be in trouble, because that's what it's all about. So I want you to introduce yourself, finish it up, let people know, because I feel like now, even though the years has passed, our reconnecting is something that make us understand that initially the seed was planted and we go about our busy ways and our busy days sometimes, but we really need to understand that God has a plan. God has a plan. God has a plan.
All right, thank you, Christina Flowers. First and foremost, let me just give praise and thanks to Almighty God Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Ali Farah Muhammad, in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the name of his caliph, the most honorable Emmanuel Jannah Muhammad. Do I want to greet each and every one of you guys with great peace in the paradise of Assalamu alaikum. First and foremost, Sister Christina Flowers, I am most grateful and thankful to be here. And I'm going to give you a hug again real fast. Both cheeks.
Okay,
And
both cheeks.
yeah.
I got that.
And like I said, when I found out about the passing of your dad, that really made me sad. And I saw your posting this morning, and even last night I was talking to one of my best girlfriends, Terry Danielle Miles, and we were talking about you, how we follow you, and this. And then this morning when I seen your post, I said, let me reach out to Christina because I need to talk to you. I need to feel your spirit. I need to feel what's going on and what can I do.
Yes.
And you and I had that conversation because, like you, I'm a daddy's girl as well.
Yes.
And
Lord.
I told you about that dream I had when I was a
Yes.
teenager, which was many, many moons ago. I had this dream. You ever had a dream that you're crying and when you wake up, like the tears are still in your eyes?
Yep.
Well, this is the dream I had when I was a young girl, teenager, and my dad had died. And they were like carrying his casket. You know how they do in New Orleans when everybody had the band. This is in my dream. Why I remember this dream so vivid because it just like touched me to my core. And I remember waking up, wiping the tears, and I
Crying.
called my dad. I said, "Look, I know this don't sound right, but if one of us have to die, I gotta die first, because I don't want to live on this earth without you."
Wow.
And I still feel this way to this day. He's like, "Don't talk like," they call me Snoopy. He's like, "Don't talk like that, Snoopy." And I mean, that's how. So when you lose your dad, you know, you lost your dad, and I'm just like, all right, how would I feel? And Christina, like I said, as women and as Black women, we know how to just keep moving it on. Even like I said, when you're feeling kind of low, like the Art of War, you know, you ever look at, you know, read the Art of War. It says when you down, you go up high. When you're feeling low, you feel, you know, you always go opposite. When you're feeling strong, be meek and weak, but really you're strong. So sometimes when you're feeling a certain way, just go opposite, you know, and that's your protection. And again, we met a few years ago. We came gang busting through your doors. Like, where's Christina Flowers? Because we read about you on the newspaper. That you was under the 83 when, what was it, Madam Mayor Stephanie Rollins at the time.
Yep.
And at that time, you know, you was like, look, get them in there. Let's just get them. Yes, you was. And I was so impressed. And so my baby sister, Shondia, was here. And I just want you to know, my sisters, Shondia, Malika, Majida, my mom, everybody just wish, you know, the Nation of Islam wish you condolences about your dad.
Yes.
And just want you to know that, you know, you're in our prayers. And we just walked through your door like, hey, what's going on? How can we be part of you? What's going on? And I believe in timing.
That's right.
I truly believe in timing. Because how we did things back then, who knows? You know, everything comes in time. It don't feel like it at the time. Because even with this clinic that we're opening up, YCAC, Your Community Healthcare Center, where we're going to do medication assisted treatment. You know, like we've been doing this like seriously like for a year to this day, almost straight. But if I had did it a year ago, but it had like, you know, it takes time, like everything. It takes time to grow and nurture. And there's places I had to go and people I had to meet.
And you had to get good. You had to encounter.
Yes.
And you know the one thing, and do call in, guys, 4104-811010. I am your host, Christina Flowers. And again, I want to just really share this because one of the things when I think about you, Sister Najee, is we have to, and I say we as individuals, we have to stop because what you're doing in the community at that grassroots level, and I know that because you're working from the grassroots level. That means you're using your own money, you're using your own funding. You are trying to build an establishment which we can have in our community. And it's so important because even my grassroots approach to ending homelessness, housing first, it's an approach that's not always appreciated when it's going against the grain. And the grain for us, Baltimore City, where we got to get to is we so used to popularity. You know, when people talk about, you know, contributing and donating and what you're going to be investing in, we have to get our community, you know, to invest in what the grassroots stands for, because the grassroots is also passion driven. Like it's driven by our passion. It's driven by the seed that was planted in us, even if it was me on 83 dealing with the homeless. But if it's you, it's a seed because we see what our communities, we see what our neighborhoods go through. And sometimes we have to start realizing, Baltimore City, we got to get off of this popularity kick. Like we so popular, you know, people can mention something to us. And I think about even with myself, because when I say making people uncomfortable, I know it's been times where I've always made people uncomfortable in the community, naming names, saying things. I heard you guys last week, Larry. Y'all was all over the place. I understand though, because when you was on the name, and we gotta get like that because somewhere we're gonna constantly make people uncomfortable. When Jesus traveled, he didn't make people happy and everybody was glad that he came. They killed the man. So somewhere along the way, we as advocates and in our activism, we got to make people uncomfortable. And just like your work, other grassroots, community-based
Mhm.
partnerships, we got to learn to make people uncomfortable when we know the work that we do is going to better our communities. It's going to better our neighborhoods. It's going to be there for the least of them. But we so quick to say, what's popular. You start talking about the programs when we're dealing with homelessness. You have your United Ways, you have your Catholic Charities, you have your Red Cross and your St. Vincent de
Mhm.
Paul's and these big fancy
Name
names.
them.
Yeah, these are fancy names. I
Right.
mean, and it's not saying that they're not doing the work,
Mm.
but they have the support.
Mm.
They have the foundation. They have the money. They have the popular names. So we got to start pushing, and I say we, as the grassroots community base, we got to push our way through the door.
And you know what, Christina? Let me just say this. This truly is the day of manifestation. And you
Yes.
can have all this. I mean, look at Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
I mean,
We're going to have some Donald Trump talk. You got to
he
talk about him too.
like he has the means and all those things. You know what I mean? But what he don't have is that soul.
That's
He
right.
don't have that
That's right.
passion. And I don't care at the end of the day. At the end of the day, what's real and what's true is going to manifest and come out, and it will be
Yes.
successful.
Yes.
So what's
Yes.
least will become top. You know how they say that in the Bible. We're going to be that cornerstone.
That's right.
And that's what we're here for. And when people come and see that you're really sincere, no, we're not here to make $1 off you. We're not here to rob and rape you. We're not trying to do any of these things. Our sincere is like for our community. And where it all starts, it starts right in the community.
That's
So
right.
we don't start with our own and come pull together and collectively. Because we're not challenging each other. It's not even with competition. We in this together.
Wow.
So you come help me, I come help you. And we of course, money does make the world go round. Money makes things happen. Let's just say that.
Yes.
So
yes.
you can only do less with less. You can do more with more.
More
I
and
mean,
more.
but believe
You
it
can
or
manage
not,
it more.
but we have come a long way with doing with less.
Yeah.
But like I say, when you come together, when you pull it together, like I was talking with my good girlfriend last night, Terry, and I was letting her know, like, man, let's just come together. You got the peanut butter, I got the jelly.
I know that's
You
right.
got the ham, I got the burger. I mean, when we come together, and the money will come. And
Yes,
of course, I mean, we have to talk money. Because like you said, we got bills to pay. This is coming out of pockets.
You got
So,
the
Mom-
steak, I got the lobster.
Mhm.
Oh, you got this. Oh,
Big
well, I'm a
meal.
vegetarian. No, I'm just kidding. You got the bean soup. I got the toes. I mean, but we want you guys to we gotta come together, and there's no big eyes, little U's.
That's
Man,
right.
and you stay your own entity. I stay my own entity. It's not like we got to be under just one. We're under one umbrella.
That's right.
But
One
you-
under, but still operate what
There
you're
you
doing,
go.
and that's what's real important, and that's what we got to get to. So we're going to definitely be doing some things because we got to get to our grassroots partnerships, and we have to empower them with the understanding that we need each other.
We
That's
do.
the only way we're going to get through this door, because it's a door that is up, and it's barriers, it's restrictions, it's so many things that could hinder our growth as a people.
Mm-hmm.
As a people, it can hinder us.
I
So
agree.
we can't go blaming. We can't even blame our politicians.
Nope.
No more. Like I used
Or
to
different
really.
races.
I used to feel like blaming the politicians and why they don't do more. They only are allowed to operate under their limitations too. And then we have to realize that that is not the power, because we're the head and not the tail. So we got to stop demonstrating what it is. So I'm excited about this because it leads us in other guests here also. We have Brother Charles here from the
Alright.
Black Wolves. And when you think about, not only into our day-to-day life, I am living the experience of our grassroots individuals, not only for the homeless, but Brother Charles deal with the youth.
All right.
He's dealing with a vulnerable group of individuals in our communities, and it takes other grassroots to come together and say, hey, you're doing something good. Well, what you're doing, we need to be doing together.
That's right.
And then we can't focus because there's a lot of mixture
Mm-hmm.
up in there. I'm
I
learning
agree.
different words.
Mixture.
So it mixture. You
I
got
like
to
that.
One thing I like to say is
Mhm.
I've always had respect of, particularly the Nation of Islam, and that's because it's unity. See, everyone may have different skills, but it's one umbrella. And the problem
Yeah.
with a lot of our grassroots is it's too many organizations, too many people doing the same thing,
Exactly.
and it's like, well, yeah, I'm trying to do this, and you're like, well, I'm trying to do the same thing, but when you talk about, hey, let's come together,
Mm-hmm.
I think some of our grassroots leaders really just want the spotlight.
Okay.
And that's
Right.
the reason why a lot of our initiatives really don't get met